Good evening, everyone. My name is A, and my pronouns are they, them. Um, I am one of the co-chairs of Ames Pride Fest 2020, and then I also serve as the secretary of the Ames Pride Board of Directors. Like Susan said, I will be moderating this discussion today, and I look forward to having this discussion. Danica, Lisa, if you would like to introduce yourselves next.
Hi, I'm Danika. My pronouns are she and her. I am a trans woman. I have been out for about 3 years, and I'm a guest panelist tonight. Lisa and I have been dating for a little less than 3 years, and we got engaged in May. I work at the public library, and I'm an online grad student for library science as well.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I am a cis woman, pronouns she and her, and I work at Mainstream Living full time, and I also volunteer at the public library.
All right, thank you very much. And now, Evan and Lucas, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
Hello, I'm Lucas. I am a trans man. I use he, him pronouns. I grew up in Ames and was president of the teen advisory group for a few years. And I'm currently living in California and attend California State University, and I'm pursuing my bachelor's in sociology. And this is my partner, and we've been together for 3 years? 4.5 years. I got mixed up with Danica, but 4.5 years.
I'm Evan. I'm also a trans man. My pronouns are he, him. I've been out for, I don't know, like 3 years now. So when we first started dating, I was his girlfriend. I currently am just taking some more classes to kind of supplement my degree in psychology that I got from UC Riverside. I did go to Iowa State for 2 years, so that's my connection to Ames, and that's where I met him. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for introducing yourselves. If you're comfortable with doing it, could you please share your coming out experiences?
Yeah. So me and Evan have pretty different coming out experiences. So I came out when I was in high school as transgender, when I was going to Gilbert High. And before that, a lot of the support I received during my exploration of my gender identity and sexuality was through the library's queer resources, as well as some of like PFLAG and other resources in Ames. But I did come out publicly in July of 2014 as trans, and before that, I kind of came out as bisexual, but that was a lot less of a big deal for me at the time. But I was very supported by my family, and it was more the stress of school, some extended family, and just society that was really scary when considering coming out.
So I kind of have a more opposite story. Happened a little bit later. It was like the end of my senior year in high school. I grew up here in Los Angeles, California, and I came out first as, bisexual, and I faced non-acceptance from my mom, who I lived with, things like that. She grew to kind of educate herself, though, which was really important. And then I moved directly from high school to Iowa State to Ames. And I started really kind of trying to figure out who I was, because I'd always kind of had those feelings of like potential transness. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. And so I really started to kind of investigate those feelings. I joined the LGBTQIA plus inclusive sorority on campus. and really kind of started to learn more about those things. I met him at a Iowa State Alliance event, and we were friends for years beforehand before we started dating. But I didn't come out like I came out first as non-binary, and my family was like, "No, that's not a thing," and I was like, "Okay, great," because you guys are gonna not like the fact when I come out. Actually, you know what? I am a trans man. I've had these feelings my whole life, and so I was, I think, 21 when I came out as trans, and it was really, really tough because I lived with my mom, and she was not accepting of those things. She would tell me she knew me better than I knew myself, and I was just really lucky to have been dating Lucas because he provided a lot of support, him and his family as well, until my mom, started to really kind of educate herself on trans issues, what it means to be transgender. And so luckily I have a supportive family now, but it was pretty rough in the beginning, and so I leaned on him a lot for support.
Cool. I have an even more different story. So lots of different experiences. I figured out that I was trans around during my second year of college at Iowa State. Before that, for years and years and years, I had very serious depression issues through middle and high school, but I had never really been able to identify like any of the root causes behind that until sometime around the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. I was 19, and somehow, I don't even remember how, but I was exposed to the idea that I could be trans, and it was like a light bulb went off. Like, oh my God, everything makes sense now. And then I didn't tell anyone for like 2 more years. So that in hindsight was not the best move. But I started coming out to some close friends in 2016, and to my family about a year later in 2017. I finally came out totally in public, in person, everywhere, right before I graduated college in 2017. My family was pretty good with it. There was definitely some hesitance to really accept it. Like, my mom is in the chat, I believe. Not the chat, but in the audience, I believe. So I'm going to share my perspective. They knew that, obviously I had depression issues, and I think they were kind of thinking it was a phase for a bit, but I was very insistent, no, I've known this for years. I have thought about it very extensively. I was a gender studies major in college, so I could out debate like anyone about it. So, and after not too long, they came around, started using my name and pronouns, helped me organize my coming out to the rest of my family, and helped me find a trans accepting therapist. And it's been pretty smooth sailing with my parents since then. Extended family is a bit of another story, but I think we'll get to that later in the panel. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Danika, you had mentioned that you had kind of a light bulb moment where you realized, oh, I might be trans. I had a very similar experience. I was like 17, and I was in a safe zone training, and the term genderqueer came up. And as soon as I learned about that, I was like, that's me. And so I really relate to that kind of light bulb moment. Lukas and Evan, did you have any moments like that?
Yeah, I had a moment similar when I had a friend in probably 8th grade who was questioning their gender, and it never really occurred to me like what trans people really were, like that was an option. even though I knew it logically, but it never occurred that I could be like that. And so once I started doing more research to help find them resources, I was kind of sucked into it and was like, oh, I'm so interested in this because it might apply to me.
I definitely had like little like light bulb moments. In high school here in California, I did have a friend who was trans, but it never like I had like the little inklings like, do I feel that way too? I don't know. And then I remember I got to Iowa State and there was one day I like was looking in the mirror. Mind you, like I was just like the perfect, young 18-year-old woman kind of a thing. And I looked at myself and I literally did not recognize myself. I was like, who's that? Oh, that's me. Okay. Um, let's kind of figure this stuff out. But kind of similar to you, like when I first heard like, like genderqueer, non-binary, I was like, okay, that definitely fits for sure. I don't know if I have more of those feelings even further than that, because I was still, obviously raised in a way that was very like, no, that's not a thing. You're a girl, you're a woman. Okay. So I was like confined by those thought processes before really fully exploring everything. So I mean, I kind of had like little light bulbs, more like Christmas lights, not big full bulbs, but yeah.
Yeah, what you said, Lucas, about not knowing it was an option definitely describes my experience, because I had always had things that someone who knew that I was going to be trans would look at as signs, but not that anyone at the time could notice. So it's not like people were telling me my whole life, no, you're not trans. That's not a thing. I just was completely unexposed to the concept, like, except for popular media, which not the best. I forgot where I was going with that. So yeah.
I think we're all probably about the same age group, probably like in our 20s, early 30s. So like growing up, we didn't have that media representation. How do you feel about the media representation and on trans people, like in popular media now?
Yeah.
Is that
Now
better for you guys? Can you hear us
yes,
better?
that's better. Thank you. Now it's a lot better than it was even like 2 years ago. It's like every year the quality and quantity of trans representation pretty much like doubles from the previous year. And there are instances of me watching media as a kid where they make some joke about cross-dressers or something, or like they joke about some woman having previously been a man and like, oh, that's disgusting. And it made me feel a way that I couldn't identify at the time. not good. And I don't personally watch that much TV, but I know that there are a lot of good stories being told out there. Shows like
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club is really good. The new one, Babysitter's Club, it's so good.
We cried.
We cried so hard at just like the one episode with a trans subplot.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting a lot better. That is not to say that it is anywhere close to where it should be, because we still have trans women out there being played by men, trans men out there being played by Scarlett Johansson. We still have really inconsiderate portrayals. We still have stand-up comedians going and being like, trans, what's that? That's, I don't know. But it is moving way faster than it was 10 years ago. which is great. I remember when I first came out, it was to my parents. I forget who made it. Katie Couric's Gender Revolution. I think that was Time magazine made that short film, and it came on TV like a week after I came out to my parents, and my mom watched it over and over again, trying to understand. And there are some things in it that I would say weren't perfect, but it definitely helped a lot with my mom's understanding of what this was.
I had a thing too.
Yeah.
I know when I never came out as trans. I'm very cis. Sorry. My mom sent me this National Geographic magazine where the whole thing was sexuality and gender, and she got so excited and she sent it to me. And so I think I like tore out half of the pages and was like, "Oh, Danika, look at this infographic and this one." And we're both social majors, so we're both like, "This is so exciting." At least I was. And trans representations come a long way, but I am a big nostalgia TV watcher, especially like some TV shows that are like for teens. And then, I'm watching One Tree Hill and I hear a joke and I'm like, "Oof, sorry, honey. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen."
There have been 2 or 3 of those in that show alone.
Yeah. And like every show, every movie, like they threw it into so many, even kids movies where it's just like, even Shrek 2, like what the heck? So, it's getting better. It's still not always positive representation, but I think it's starting to get there, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear us better now? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've always found interesting about trans representation in media is that it's sometimes it can almost seem unbalanced in a way where there's not as many FTM, like female to male characters, but it's growing now and becoming a little more equal. Because I remember the only one that I could ever even think of growing up was the character from Degrassi, and I don't even remember their name, but I know that just regarding personally for me, watching different gender expressions on TV for a long time in my world has been Drag Race, which isn't exactly, being trans, because obviously Drag Race is very exclusive regarding like people of trans identities. It started to get a little bit better, but it's been very exclusionary of trans people in the past, even though drag is very much centered on the experience of trans women of color in the 80s in New York and even earlier than that. So yeah, I just watch a lot of Drag Race.
Yeah, I definitely have similar views as Danika. I remember not seeing any positive representation really, but always seeing those little negative representation, especially going back and rewatching shows nowadays. There's always those comments that catch us off guard. Not always even about transness, but about other things as well. And it definitely seems to be getting a little bit better, especially the more current media.
Yeah, I think Evan is right about it being unbalanced, which is not to say that like trans women have had it well, because it's like we're both getting the short end of the same stick, like in media up until literally like 2 years ago. Trans women are perverts or murderers, and trans men don't exist.
They're just lesbians or something.
Yeah, there's no jokes about men who used to be women and how disgusting that is,
Yeah.
I kind of missed a bit of your first initial comment, so I was just like, what's on my brain? So I just kind of threw that out. But I've studied gendered studies as well.
Yeah, you're not wrong about it being unbalanced.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, do we just not exist, or are we the target of jokes?
Right.
And I mean, and non-binary people just weren't even on the radar at all in the media. And if they were, it was just like, oh, you must just be like a tomboy or something, or which I'm like,
tomboy's a valid identity, but not, there's more here that needs to be discussed and to be represented for the public to see, for people to, you know, especially like younger people, figure out, oh, you know what, that really feels like me on the TV. My story is something that is represented in part of this more material culture that's being spread around.
All right, thank you for your input on all that. I completely agree. Like we're getting better, but we're nowhere near where we need to be. How did coming out affect your relationship?
So for me, I would say it definitely affected like my relationships within my family, because when I came out, I was still living at home, and so it put some strain on them for a while, but eventually definitely brought us closer because we had something we had to work through to get to a mutual understanding and like really work on that together. And then with Evans coming out, I did know that he was um, at least questioning his gender before we started dating. But like he did say, he was my girlfriend when we first started dating. And so that definitely, things kind of changed, especially when we were both transitioning and starting hormones. Just the relationship dynamics. But I'll let you talk about that a little more.
So when I came out, my relationships with my family did change a bit. I mean, when I came out to my younger brother, he said, I was like, is this going to change our relationship? He straight up said yes. And I didn't know whether he meant for the good or the bad. There's still positive and negatives because growing up, I was kind of like a second mom to him. So I can understand how that can be very jarring. But I would say my relationships with my family have changed for the better. Some of my extended family who I've, had to live with and stuff like that still call me by my old name, still forget things like that. And so it can be kind of difficult, but like with my dad, who we both currently live with now, he's been amazing throughout the entire process, which has been great. And I can say that when I came out to Lucas, like definitively within our relationship, I was scared because I was like, is he still gonna like me in the same way? Is he still gonna love me as deeply? And he was my biggest support system. So I feel like almost silly for questioning that because he's always been there for me through all of that. He's been super supportive through the whole process. And I think really exploring and going through that together between the two of us has made our relationship stronger, especially because we have those parallels that we can be like, oh, I'm feeling kind of dysphoric today or whatever, like we understand what we're saying.
Yeah. When I came out, if you were to ask my family members who I still talk to, they would definitely say that the the thing that told them that I was right about being trans and that it was real and that it was good was the fact that before I came out, I never smiled. I was always depressed or anxious or word blank, annoyed with everything. And then once I started being called my name and my pronouns and treated the way that I felt I wanted to be treated, it was like night and day. And suddenly they are all telling me how much happier I look, how clearly good for me this is. And I did lose some family members. I did lose some friends when I came out, but I also gained friends and I gained family members, and some of those relationships got stronger. So it does affect your relationships, But at the end of the day, I think it's a positive change to come out no matter what.
Definitely. I think the biggest thing that it affects is that your comfort level being around and interacting with people and actually maintaining relationships, because before coming out you almost don't want to have a relationship with anyone,
including yourself.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. What resources or support did you receive from your significant others or family or loved ones? And what support do you wish you had received?
Yeah, my parents helped me find a trans-friendly therapist right away when I came out. And that, I would say, was the number one resource that helped me. I had therapists before. I actually had one that I tried to talk about like trans feelings with and got shut down by. But once I had that trans-friendly therapist that I could talk about transitioning with, that I could talk about my relationships with, without that, I don't know what I would have done. That's the number one resource that is so crucial, is someone who's knowledgeable and accepting and will help you take the actions you need to take to live the life you deserve to live.
So sorry. Some of the biggest support I really had was my parents did also help me find a gender therapist and accepting therapist, and that really helped me, especially because that kind of marked the step of us agreeing that I was ready to kind of start working towards my transition with hormones and things like that. And so just having that action plan that I was able to set up with my parents by going to therapy was very helpful. And also them letting me kind of explore it on my own and continue to allow me to go to different queer events and be a part of different groups that really bolstered my esteem in the queer community and allowed me to get to know what it actually was like, rather than just like being afraid of that group.
Oh, oh, okay. Your mic was just quiet. So for me, regarding like support throughout the very beginning stages of my journey, a lot of it was the queer people of Ames that really helped me out a lot. The sorority on campus that was queer inclusive. Lucas, obviously, through all of it. But after I moved back home, it was, you would think in LA it would be like, oh, so much easier. There's all these like open people. No, it's not necessarily like that, especially where I was from. And so I didn't really have like support within my household. I had just started going to a community college to get my credits that I needed to go back to school in California. And like they had a queer, you know, organization on campus, but it wasn't super active, and everybody already just kind of seemed comfortable with themselves, and it was very disjointed in a way. It wasn't like a community heavy thing. So I did lean a lot on Lucas, but I did eventually find a gender therapist as well who did help me with that kind of stuff, because my family would gaslight me in a way, make me feel as if I was going crazy, or that I didn't know what I was talking about, or that I wasn't feeling these things. And so having the therapist there to almost help me relay my feelings to them and validate them in a way was a kind of support system that I had going there.
And another thing that I would say that at least helped your family was definitely some educational resources from like PFLAG and different queer organizations, because having it laid out in front of you is a lot easier to understand sometimes than when it's especially your kid telling you something.
Yeah, for sure. Those educational resources are a must with a lot of parents and supporters. Lisa, what were some ways that that you learned to be supportive of Danika during her transition?
Well, let's see. When we first met, you hadn't quite come out on Facebook yet.
Mhm.
I know we met in person at Queers and Beers. Actually, A introduced us, and I think you met them 5-10 minutes before I did.
Had we met on another Queers and Beers before that, or was that the first time we met?
So I believe I met Lisa first, actually.
Oh, no, because I
Really?
think you called
No?
Lisa over to a
Oh,
table
right.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
because I
think
told
it
you I
might have
liked
been
your
the same
lipstick.
Queers and Beers.
Yeah, it must have
Yes.
been. Yeah, you knew me for like 5 minutes before.
Yeah,
Lisa.
so I came to your table and, we became friends on Facebook. And I think, oh goodness, maybe like a week or two after that, you came out to everybody. And
I wrote this big long like FAQ post on my Facebook to come out to people, and I got a pretty universally good response from everyone who bothered to respond. I'm sure people saw it, and some of them were happy, but they didn't say anything.
So yeah, when we first started dating, we didn't start dating until, well, we met in September. We didn't start going on our first date until January.
Yeah.
Because it took you forever. But anyway, we went on our first date. I've never known her as anything other than Danika ever. And by the time I came around, your parents and your brother and most of your family was absolutely amazing about it. I have always asked before we meet a family member of mine, like, what do you want me to say? I always kind of let Danika take the lead and let me know what I should and should not say. I know with my mom, she is in a nursing home. She really doesn't have a lot of internet access. So anytime that she has a question, I tell her very firmly, direct it to me. If it's appropriate, if you would ask it to someone's face, then you can ask me. But if it's something that you don't really need to know, then please don't ask, or at least have some general questions as opposed to personal questions. Most of the people I know are very good about gender and pronouns, and if they mess up, then I really try to make sure that I'm correcting them. I don't think it should be the person who is trans who has to do this all the time to be like, well, actually, please just be respectful. My dad's side of the family really isn't supportive, and so for Danika's safety and also sort of mine, I really don't tell them very much, just because they're very hateful, honestly. But out of the people who would be respectful, I try to be careful about how Danika's treated. And if somebody ever asks a question that's not appropriate, I'm like, no, I'm not answering that for you. So that's
I want to add something
okay.
about how you've supported me.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to get my bottom surgery at the beginning of this year, right before the pandemic started. And without Lisa, I would not have been able to do that. Recovery was very hard. I had to stay in the hospital for a few days, and then at home, obviously, couldn't move around very much. Was having some complicated emotions. And Lisa really helped me get through that. And I am so much better off for it now because of her understanding and compassion in helping me do that.
I also made you a med chart.
You made me a med chart. It was so useful.
It was a little too much, and the doctor was like, okay.
Yeah.
I take care of people for a living. I just kind of
Yeah.
applied some work skills, I guess, to that. And, we went together to get your name changed legally. And
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of it's been together.
Because I had only been on hormones I think I got on hormones like the month before we met, like in August.
Yeah.
So you've been with me pretty much through my whole transition. And you've been so great.
Stop it.
No.
Well, I'm so happy for you two, and I'm just glad that you found each other and that you have that support of each other. Lucas and Evan, do you have anything you'd like to add to that? Like in supporting your partner and all that?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing, just support wise, is what Lisa was saying as far as pronouns and helping correct for the other person. That was something that especially my friends in high school did a lot for me, which was super important. And similarly with like family events, that was something we worked on a lot when we first started dating, and Evan wasn't quite out yet, because going to my family stuff, he could be out if he wanted to. But it was always kind of tricky. So we made sure we talked about that beforehand to make sure everyone knew what name, pronouns, and the atmosphere we were going into.
And during that time, I didn't even necessarily know all the times he would like go in and like check beforehand and be like, hey, so this is the situation, these are his name and pronouns. And so like it made it really kind of sweet finding that out later, but just like with Danika and Lisa, Lucas was there the day I went to the LA LGBT Center and started hormones. He sat there in the waiting room with me as I got my first shot of testosterone. He went to court with me when I got my name legally changed last year. He helped take care of me afterwards after I had top surgery. Like, he has been amazing as just a partner and a human being. So thank you, Ames, for letting me steal Lucas.
I'm really glad you two found each other too. Yeah. For the two of you, what are some similarities and differences in living as a trans person between Iowa and California?
One big thing I think is in California, it's much easier to feel accepted just like walking outside, to not be as innately fearful of everyone around you. But it all, in a way, it can make it like, so there's less community, because there are so many more people, and so we're so densely packed in that everyone's like, oh, there's queer people all around. So you don't have the same drive to find a group of people like you do when there's not supportive people around. And so I think that's one reason like the ISU queer clubs really brought like such a sense of community, whereas some of the queer clubs here were a little more disjointed. But also the work environment here is a lot better, especially legal protections wise. And so that made it much more comfortable going into to jobs and interviews, and being able to disclose that after I got the job, especially to my coworkers. They were more likely to know what I was talking about and maybe still ask questions, but much better.
Yeah, so California, I love it, and there's some things that I'm like, I wish I could change, because I do miss having that more tight-knit queer community. But it's not always, still super, super safe. Even like up in like West Hollywood, I think a month or of trans women were on the street and got their purses stolen. They got beaten up. And so, still into fear. My first gender therapist, they literally said, "Oh, you think you're trans? Here, go right now and just go start hormones." And I was kind of like, I wanted somebody to help me work through it instead of just saying, "Here you go," because it is an informed consent state, which is good, meaning you can just go in and start hormones whenever. But I personally knew I wasn't ready for that, and so that was kind of like, I need some more help here. But I mean, what else was I gonna say? It has its pros, it has its cons. I pass like just a average white man, which has unfortunate pros. So like I don't have the fear, but because we're still in a gay couple, that still provides fear for us, even being here in California. And especially when we go back to visit family in Iowa, in Ames, in Missouri, it's like, okay, we're brothers. I'm gonna call you bro in the grocery store in Walmart. Like, don't look at me like you love me. And
But
so,
I think a lot of that is growing up in different areas, I'm much more comfortable in Iowa than Evan is, and so when I go back, I still I know that there may be more risk, but it's less scary sometimes than it may be for him. But you had asked if California is an at-will employment, and I believe it is. I know there had at one place I had worked at, there was a trans person who was facing some legal problems, but they were fairly not related to actual discrimination. But I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
what's nice is that we have more legal protections in California than we would in Iowa in regard to our trans identity, just because the state government is more affirming and dedicated to protecting our rights. But it's like, we're thinking about, he's almost done with college. Where do we want to move to? Where do we go next? The prices here are super, super high, but yet we don't have to worry about our safety. So where do we kind of, find the pros and cons within that?
How easy was it to change your name in California? Because in Iowa, it was super easy for me. Although it did cost $200.
It cost $450 to $500
really?
for me to do it here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was only 200 in Iowa.
Yeah, so I was, over 18. I think I was what, 22? And I actually was able to secure a spot at a free name change clinic at a law firm that works within marginalized communities. But so I had to drive like an hour and a half to get to the place. Luckily, they had all these lawyers sit down and fill out all the paperwork with me, and then I just had to submit it. And then there was no like putting it in the newspaper or anything like that. So I was just really thankful I had them to help me out. But it was still like $500, show up for a court date, and then they just say, "Oh, okay, here you go."
Did you have to go to court?
Yeah, but there wasn't a
didn't.
hearing.
Wow.
It was weird because normally you're, even in California, you're not supposed to have to like have a court date for that kind of stuff. But for some reason at that courthouse, I guess they just had us all come in.
Wow. The
So.
county clerk helped me fill my paperwork out.
And we just had to drive to Nevada.
We just had to drive to Nevada,
I used to
fill
live
out
there.
the paperwork online, and then
Pay.
they're like, pay, and they're like, okay, now you wait 30 days, and then you can submit it to the court, and they'll approve it. And that was that.
That was definitely one of the most surprisingly easy things for me to do in Iowa, especially since I was a minor. It just took like the steps you described with my parents' consent, and I'm sure it was a little trickier for them to figure out the loopholes, but it was surprising how easy it was compared to other places I've heard it where you really
Yeah.
have to go to court and it can
Put
be
your name on
turned
the
down
paper.
much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different regarding changing names on birth certificates, though, because I was
Yes.
born in Kansas, and so it wasn't up until I think last year that I was even able to amend my birth certificate to have my correct like name and gender marker and stuff like that on it, and I still haven't done that because life is crazy.
Yeah. I was born in
So-
Minnesota, and last time I checked, I don't know if it's changed since then, but I would have to drive to the county courthouse where in the county I was born to get my birth certificate and change it. Yeah.
Road trip.
Road trip.
I don't even know if I have to go to Kansas, but that's literally halfway across
have
the
to mail
country.
it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
He helps me. He supports me by helping me with my paperwork.
Mhm.
I'm from Missouri, so it was a whole other mess for me. It was the $250. It was the newspaper. It was getting grilled by a judge. It was all sorts of fun. So it's very interesting how things can be different in just different states. And
Yeah.
we have time for 1 or 2 questions from the audience. If you have a question, please just put it in the chat. In the meantime, do you have any advice that you would give to other trans folks, trans couples, or messages of hope or support?
I guess one big thing as coming out as trans is just kind of knowing that you'll always be questioning yourself. And a lot of that is the voices of society and all the haters basically just telling you you shouldn't believe whatever you're thinking and what you know about yourself. So to kind of acknowledge the what ifs, but also push past them and, learn to accept what you actually are feeling and not feel like you have to give in to what everyone else wants you to do or be like.
I mean, that kind of based on that, it makes me think of something one of my friends from University of California, Riverside was telling me is that like as queer people, like we oftentimes have to look for the future to find hope, and that can get hard, but there is that hope at the end of the tunnel. Like if you would have asked me 5 years ago if this is where I would be, I would have been like, no, there's no way. Like, yeah, I would love to be there. I would love to be in that body. I would love to be that person, but there's no way. Absolutely. And yet there is hope, and it does change. I mean, whether or not, regardless of the other people around you and all the things that they're saying and all that stuff, it's what's important is what's within you, and making sure that there's that connection between brain, body, heart, soul, just all of it. Like, and you do have to take some steps, and that can be hard, especially because like I have really bad anxiety, so overcoming like with the birth certificate change thing, I'm like, yeah, I know I need to do that, haven't done it yet. Actively taking those steps can help you get to that goal quicker, but don't give up because things obviously change really, really quick. So you can, it will get better within your relationship to yourself, for sure.
Man, imagine being a trans person without an anxiety disorder. Can you even imagine? The only thing I want to add to what Evan said, which was beautiful, is this is a conversation Lisa and I literally had today, is that some people, for being LGBT, will hate you for who you are. And there's just no way around that. What you have to do is find the people who will love you for who you are. And they are out there.
And don't settle for people who will maybe tolerate you.
Yeah.
You deserve better. And if you are cis and you're watching this, help your trans friends and family, like defend their pronouns. Don't be like, oh, what are your preferred pronouns? No, they're their pronouns. Like They're not optional.
Yeah.
And you need to respect someone and don't talk badly about them. And, you know, if someone comes out at work or someone comes out to 600 friends on Facebook, you know, be like, wow, you know, awesome. Just be supportive. You don't know how hard it is. I can't possibly know how hard it could be to come out, but you can make it better for someone else and make a positive difference.
Thank you all for your support, for your advice, for sharing your stories, because it's hard and it's scary to share your stories with a bunch of strangers. So thank you all for doing that. I think we'll go ahead and end our webinar now. So thank you everybody for coming. This will be uploaded to our YouTube page, and we will post a notification on our Facebook and website to let you know when that happens. So thank you all and have a great night.